Hi everybody, this is Brian David Marshall coming to you from the Tournament Center at Pro Tour Dark Ascension here in Honolulu. I'm here with, let me take a breath before I do this, Hall of Famer, Pro Tour champion, Grand Prix winner, hero of the working dad, Magic player, Rob Dougherty. We're 3 rounds into Standard, you're undefeated.
Yeah.
What is it like? You're in Hawaii playing Magic. How excited are you?
It's pretty awesome, and first off, I have to thank my wife, Krista. She is at home with our 4 kids right now by herself, so I couldn't be here without her.
How did you? No. You know what? We're not doing the deck tech anymore. We're actually going to do a dad tech for Magic players at home. How did you get away to? You got to understand this. He's been in a mansion for the last 10 days or so playing Magic.
Yeah.
A mansion on the beach. How did you pull this off?
Well, made a bit of a deal.
With the devil?
No, with my wife. I told her she could go visit her friends, go anywhere she wanted, and she took a couple weeks off, and I was Mr. Mom at home for a couple weeks, taking care of the kids by myself, and then I'm going here, and when I get back, she's going to go again for a little while. So that's the trick right there.
You got to go 2 for 1? She got the 2 for 1, and she's clearly a Magic player's wife. Yeah, she knows the 2 for 1s are good.
Yes. Yeah, although I went for card quality, I went to Hawaii instead of somewhere where it snows. So, it's...
Sure, the planeswalker of choices there. So tell us about Standard with Dark Ascension. What did you want to do coming into this format, preparing for it?
Well, I really like playing aggressive decks. I play a lot of Magic online, and I love the clock. And I like playing Control online because I can manage my own clock, and the match will end in a win or loss. But I'm not such a fan of it in live play because my opponent's play tends to slow down. If I'm playing Control, you end up with draws. Draws are 2/3 of losses. So if it's an option, I like to play beatdown. I'll play Control if I have to, but I like to play beatdown. And I've been a big fan of tokens for a while. And when I saw this little puppy in the spoiler, I knew I wanted to play some black-white if possible.
So, where does that take you? You say Lingering Souls. You're like, I'm going to make tokens. I'm going to play black, obviously, and white. Where does that take you in terms of your process?
Well, basically, wanted to maximize tokens. Darwin Castle and I were talking about various builds of decks like this, and we really wanted to try a deck which had both Honor the Pure and Intangible Virtue, so that you'd combine your card advantage with raw power. So while you're getting 4 flyers for 1 card, you're getting 4 awesome flyers. So and then once it was looking at Honor the Pure and Intangible Virtue together, obviously every token generator becomes extraordinarily powerful.
So you said before that Lingering Souls made Midnight Haunting sad.
Yeah, Midnight Haunting got so sad when Lingering Souls came out, because this guy used to be, pretty impressive. He gives you 2 flyers for just 1 card. You can play it as instant speed. You can play it at end of your opponent's turn. It's a great way to slip that beat down there. But this one gives you 4 flyers for 1 card. It's broken up over 2 spells, so if they counter half of it, you can play the other half as long as it's not getting removed from the game. So yeah, Midnight Haunting is a fantastic card, but Lingering Souls made it feel very sad.
It's a fantastic card in 2011.
Exactly.
No, it's just a good card in 2012.
It got downgraded just a bit.
Talk about Gather the Townsfolk. This is a card that hasn't gotten as much attention.
Phenomenal. Gather the Townsfolk is great. First off, it's a 2-drop that's giving you 2 for 1, which gives you that nice early pressure, so you can do turn 2 gather, turn 3 linger, turn 4 buy back your linger, play an Intangible Virtue, smash in. So it gives you your tempo, and it gives you human tokens, which obviously go very nicely with your champion. So turn 1 champion, turn 2 gather. Suddenly you're swinging. You got 5 power on the table.
It's a wild Mikado all of a sudden.
Yeah,
right?
you got serious beatdown.
And this guy can get really big. I mean, he can just get bigger than any kind of like minus kind of removal or damage-based removal.
And my favorite card realization moment with Gather the Townsfolk was when I finally read the Fateful Hour ability. I'm like, what? There's more to this card? So you occasionally will have games where you're battling back and forth, and suddenly you draw one of these, and boom, 5 guys on the table.
And that actually comes up.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, how many times have you been playing an aggro deck in Magic, and against another aggro deck, and your life totals are low? That's just the way it happens. And you drop 5 of these, and if you're getting 5 of these, and you happen to still have a champion on the table, oh, it's dirty.
Right, he becomes Titan-sized.
Yeah.
Talk about Doom Traveler, also a 2011 All-Star.
Yeah, so Doom Traveler, I mean, he is admittedly a little bit sad. He's got to be he's the weakest member of the deck. However, he helps your tempo for coming out fast, and he goes with your Honor the Pure, so you can get some additional beatdown. He'll increase your champion's size, and in those all-important control matchup, he gives you a guy who survives, and more importantly, he gives you a token that survives the board sweeper effects. And wonderful to have if you've got a sword going, a guy you know is going to be able to survive.
So talk about this card. This was like one of the first cards I saw get sold at the dealer tables
Yes.
when the door opened.
This card's a rock star in the current environment. I would like to be playing more of them, but I've got so much threat augmentation that I need to make sure that I have enough threats. But many lists of every kind are running for Swords of War and Peace. It's great in aggro, it's great in control. Like it's just, and frankly, it's one of the weaknesses of playing a deck like this is you're vulnerable to the sword.
So Oblivion Ring, this is the only straight up removal in your deck.
Yeah, only straight up removal.
Yeah.
There's other things you can do, but yes, that's your straight up removal.
What is happening? How do you have to pinpoint what you're going to do with it? I mean, do you just get the first thing you can out of the way with it?
Well, you've got to judge the situation. Sometimes you're on such a beatdown plan that you can just take out any blocker, and that's good enough. Other times, if there are key cards in the matchup, like maybe Sword, or those specific items that you have to wait for, or your opponent's Honor the Pure, those sorts of things. So it varies from matchup to matchup, but obviously a great utility card. And Darwin's going to be very frustrated. There's only 3 of them down there.
Now the secret's out. He was like, no, I played 4. Now, Planeswalkers, you got Elspeth Tirel, more tokens, a little bit of removal.
Yeah, I mean, her -5 ability is no joke. I mean, that can win games. It's not hard for her to get there. 1 life gain and you're
sure. And with the Intangible Virtue and all your tokens, it's hard for people to get through and interact with your Planeswalkers.
Sure. So your Planeswalkers have good defense, and obviously her -2 ability, putting 3 guys on the table with the amount of with the swords and with all the virtues and Honor the Pures, that she's a very, very powerful card.
And then one of the signature cards of the Dark Ascension set.
Sorin, and honestly, Sorin surprised me a little bit. When I first read him, I thought, he's okay. I didn't think he would be as good as he is, but that the combination of being able to make guys to go with your creature augmentation. Obviously, they don't work with Honor the Pure, but then again, they can block Sword of War and Peace equipped guys. So
right.
That's a blessing and a curse there, the ability to use him as an augmenter with the emblems can push things over the top, and that -6 ability is very relevant.
Does that happen?
Yes, yeah. Basically, most against control decks that play giant monsters. So
sure.
They have to day. You throw this guy out there. You start making tokens, and now suddenly, if they play a Titan, well, I'll kill that guy and take him. So.
Have you ever taken a Planeswalker with him?
Not yet, but
the day is young.
The day's young. I'm working on it.
So now I've definitely seen a lot of people take a more Esper approach to the Lingering Souls deck because of Delver Secrets. You've chosen not to go that direction. Again, we see the champion of the Parish. So how much does that open you up to being able to play this card?
Oh, this card is it makes this card viable. The problem with trying to mix, mash in 3 colors is you end up with a lot of lands that end up coming into play tapped. You have a hard time getting your early mana outright, and a color, yet another colorless source can be problematic. Obviously, the blue-white likes to make their spirits land. But this card is a rock star. It's very powerful. You just win every race. It doesn't matter if they have more creature augmentation out. Your guys trade. You gain life.
Right.
Things.
It's really difficult because it's not like they can not block. Right. You're like they're like, oh, I have to just deal with this.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're just going to gain so much life that the game is going to spiral horribly out of control.
Yeah, you'll outrace them if they don't block, and if they do block, you're trading everything. And my deck is a little bit better at making more men on the table. So
even at the deck being 2 colors, you said to me that you were struggling a little bit with you want to have white on turn 1, right?
Yeah, the deck's very greedy on mana. You want to have your white on turn 1 because you want to come out of the gates with your champion or your Doomed Traveler. On turn 2, you're very busy. You've got your Gather, your Intangible, and your Honor. On turn 3, you want to be playing one of these guys, or maybe sometimes you want to put a sword on the table. Turn 4, you're ready to flash back your Lingering Souls and drop an Augmenter, or play a Sauron. And then turn 5, you want to play your Elspeth or drop a sword. So not only do you want the right colors of mana, you want mana every turn on time, untapped.
So you end up with 4 isolated chapels for your black and 3 swamps.
3 swamps, and I'd love to have more black sources, but you got to have that turn 1 white mana, and the swamps and the vaults are dead on that. And also, if you have a multi-land hand which doesn't have any white sources, that's just an auto mulligan. So.
And then we have one little.
Yes, this is
lonesome
the
Shimmering
Grotto tech. So I wanted a source that could produce black or white. Basically I was at 4 and 3, and I just felt I really wanted access to another source of black, but I needed something that could produce white so that I would have less hands that I had to mulligan. If I had an otherwise beautiful hand, but it doesn't have a white source at all, there's just no way. You can't make a decision on it. It's just garbage. And so Shimmering Grotto filled that role of being able to give me the black mana I need to flash back Lingering Souls or to play Sorin. Sure, it's slower, but 3 mana to flash this back is just fine. You paid 3 mana to cast it in the first place. So that's not too bad. And this comes into play untapped, so you can use it to play your turn 2 Intangible Virtue or your Gather the Townsfolk, or whenever you get it, it's ready to go.
Okay, so to give us a little insight into what the metagame has looked like from Rob Dougherty's seat, 3 rounds through the tournament.
Yeah, so from the narrow view that I've had at the tournament, I've played against Delver in round 1, which is it's always a tight matchup because they come out fast. I played against a humans deck in both rounds 2 and 3. And the decks were very, very solid. Blue-white in both cases, and frankly, I think the black gave me a significant edge.
This seems like it's a huge game breaker
vault,
in the mirror, the semi-mirror. Right?
Yeah, the vault is a game breaker, and the Lingering Souls is a game breaker, of course. So those 2 cards are. My land's much more powerful than their land, is what it's doing, and Lingering Souls might be the most powerful card in the format right now, so having access to it, and obviously this deck maximizes Lingering Souls as much as possible. So.
Okay, well, so you got 2 more rounds of Standard today. You feel, so you spent a week, 10 days, whatever it is in a beach house. Did you feel like you got enough practice drafting this new format?
I drafted a bunch. I don't know how good I am at it, but I've done a lot of it. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I've always been a little more on the constructed end, but I like drafting more than anything else. It's certainly more fun, so I'll have a good time either way.
Okay. Well, having a good time in Hawaii, that's kind of the theme this weekend. Yep. So for Rob Dougherty, this is Brian David Marshall signing off from the Tournament Center at Pro Tour Dark Ascension.